After spending a week or so with me in the islands, the Salty crew got underway back to the States. It was very satisfying to know that together we did what we set out to do. Suzanne would arrive on Christmas Day, and together we would prepare for an adventure-packed winter in the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. This would include many trips to many places, all within the short distances between the islands. Each of the Virgin Islands has a charm and fascination of its own. From the cosmopolitan population centers of St. Thomas and Tortola to the stunningly picturesque St. John and Virgin Gorda, all within a territory less than 50 miles. Suzanne and I spent our working weeks entertaining and enjoying the company of our friends and guests, while spending our off weeks relaxing, exploring, and preparing for our next cruise arrival.
There lies an island, such a beautiful island, a beckoning to me. Across the ocean, there lies an island, it is Jost Van Dyke Island.
One such island, Jost Van Dyke, is one that will always remind us of the fabulous adventures we shared together. And nothing reminds us more of this remote, inviting, white sandy beachfront paradise than the island's most famous inhabitant, the legendary Foxy Caldwell. While Foxy's public appearances are somewhat rare these days, in keeping with the island's unmitigated hospitality, Foxy invited us, along with our crew, to enjoy a private audience with him right in the loft of his world-famous tavern bar. What an amazing experience.
Check the palm trees and you would see what I say. Oh, my blue, most of their nuts are away. It's also true. Oh, my blue, away my nuts too. That hurricane had like a lot. She blew away my nuts, but she left me with my lips. I'm telling you, I want no blister, but Oma did have a younger sister.
Oh.
Please you listen to this. I know that the younger sister was Spanish. I'm gonna tell you this, and I ain't care who else would have a name like Maria, believe me. It is true. Maria had like blood. And if you were not deaf, she blew away all the nuts that Oma had left. I'm not insane. Oma never see Oma go back again. But this is really the fact. If she returns, I hope she brings my nuts.
Well, do you know how the island got its name? You see what happened? There was a Dutch pirate, and he was sailing through the islands, and he wanted to know if there was any people living on this island. So the guy sent one of his crew in to check the island out. Midday gone, and the crew did not show up. Well, the sun was going down around this time. Captain finally saw him rowing coming out to the boat. He checked him out and found out that his clothes was in rags, and the face was all scratched up and bleeding. So the captain shouted out to him, "Are there any women ashore?" The guy looked up faintly, and he was half dead, and he shouted out, "Just one dyke."
He said, loving you, and now I'm losing you. I am a losing you. For things that I did not do, please let your heart consider and appeal. 'Cause now you know exactly how I feel. I must confess, I have never ever been untrue, and all I'm guilty of is loving you. And all I'm guilty of is loving you.
In my humble opinion, the island of St. Thomas represents the very essence of our dream come true. With its multicultural allure and its vibrant history, the island is truly America's paradise. The bustling capital city, Charlotte-Amalie, accommodates every type of watercraft from the smallest dinghy to the largest cruise ship. Seaplanes come and go on an hourly basis to and from St. Croix. Shops and restaurants line the ancient streets with a look and feel of being totally alive. There is not much that can't be found on the island of St. Thomas. With some of the most beautiful harbors and beaches of its own, the island is just an arm's length from some of the best sailing, fishing, and diving in the world. Suzanne and I spent many days and nights anchored just off the seawall in Charlotte-Amalie Harbor, just a short dinghy ride from the center of town. What a thrill to look out from almost anywhere and see Island Girl resting peacefully at anchor. While aboard so many miles from home, it is great comfort to remember you are still in the USA. At night, music fills the air as the twinkling lights decorate the towering mountainside, like a Christmas tree. In the morning, as the sun rises up into the sky, the water gleams and the waterfront comes back to life. Ascending upward from the center of the harbor, a seemingly endless staircase leads to the top of the mountain. This is known as the 99 Steps. Suzanne and I actually counted 103. As we climb these stairs, the panorama opens a little more, revealing the vast open sea, reminding us just how far we are from home. Reaching the top, we look down and clearly see Island Girl as just a speck in the universe of ocean before us. We are reminded Island Girl still has a lot of work to do before completing her job. Our original Salty crew was back to work at home and could not make the return voyage. So I called upon good friend Captain Ed to accompany me. Taking advantage of the favorable trade winds and the longer days, and the warming weather at home, we decided rather than making a direct ocean passage, we would take a southerly route across the Bahamas with numerous stops along the way. We would cross the Gulf Stream to Florida and then proceed north by a combination of coastal and inland waterway sailing. Captain Ed would spend a week sailing with us before Suzanne left for home on March 14th. Ed and I would hoist our sails the same day after provisioning and retrieving all the gear we had stowed in American Yacht Harbor's storage bin. All said, during the winter of 2018 and 2019, Island Girl covered over 4,000 miles and visited many islands and destinations as she continues to fulfill her cruising destiny. This includes the passages to Bermuda, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and 8 visits to the BVIs before heading home from St. Thomas on March the 14th. The cruise back home is worthy of a documentary of its own. The 2,000-mile voyage would include many stops as we hopped our way home. Captain Ed likes to say we ate our way home. Visiting some of the most exotic locations, we made approximately 22 stops in 28 days. Stops included Culebra in the Spanish Virgin Islands, San Juan, Puerto Rico, South Caicos, and Provo in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Then on to Mayaguana, Plana Key, Long Island, Great Exuma, Big Farmer Key, Shroud Key, Nassau, and the Berries in the Bahamas. Then a Gulf Stream crossing took us to Lake Worth, Florida. Working our way up the coast, we visited Stewart, Fort Pierce, New Smyrna Beach, and St. Augustine, Florida. Next, an offshore jump to Beaufort, South Carolina, and then on to Morehead City, North Carolina. Finally, Cousin Jimmy would arrive in New Bern, North Carolina to accompany me and Island Girl home to Rock Hall via the Dismal Swamp Canal. We made stops in Portsmouth, Virginia, Tangier, and Solomon's Island. And now we're back at Waterman's Crab House in Rock Hall, ready to start our next sailing season. Island Girl is surely living up to her name. Her crews have taken her across some of the deepest and widest parts of the Atlantic, the Caribbean, through some of the most shallow and narrow waterways of the Dismal Swamp Canal, and right back to the largest and most beautiful estuary in the United States, the Chesapeake Bay. Needless to say, we have much to be thankful for as this wonderful chapter in our cruising destiny comes to a close, and a new one begins. We are especially grateful to have discovered and acquired Island Girl from Rockhall Marine Restoration and Heritage Center and her generous donors. A big win for ourselves, our guests, our fearless crew, and the beneficiaries of the important work done at the Heritage Center. When traversing the many boatyards of the world, remember, one never knows what adventures might lie ahead for that good old boat, just waiting for a new lease on life and a destiny to fulfill. See you on the Chesapeake Bay. This is Captain Mark and first and only mate Suzanne, out.